Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, brought to you each week by the National Sports Collectors Convention. Join us every Wednesday evening at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time and get the latest news from the greatest experts in the sports collectibles world. You can watch us on the Great American Collectibles Facebook page, as well as YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. And now your hosts, award-winning sports collectibles author Tom Zappola and Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli.
Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show. Tom Zappola with my good friend and co-host, Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli. Rico, how are you, my man?
Very good. Very good. Not very happy about the weather here in Florida. I got to tell you, right now, I got to talk to the governor and say, what the hell's going on here?
Rick, what kind of a hat is that you got on there?
It's a friend of mine. It's a baseball Hall of Fame. He bought it. He went to the Hall of Fame and, went on a tour there.
And gave it to you, right? Another freebie.
Well, listen, we've been friends since high school. We were high school on a baseball team. So,
So he gave it to you.
Each other, but, what's that? He goes.
All right, listen, we got a great show today. We got our good friend Al Crisifulli from Love of the Game Auctions. Al is just coming off the IL. Al, how are you, my friend?
Doing all right. I'm getting by.
You're looking okay.
Yeah.
Can we say that you had COVID? Oh,
I had
no,
COVID. I tested negative today or yesterday for the first time in a week.
Really?
Yeah.
Kicked the hell out of you, right?
Yeah, it really did. I didn't feel sick. But tired, man. I take a shower and I get out of the shower and I need to take a nap.
It's, really?
Just wipe me out.
It was COVID. That was the flu.
Yeah, really. Anyway, Jeremy Murray from Pristine Auctions is with us. Jeremy, how are you, my friend?
Hey, guys. How are y'all? Good to see you.
You're in Arizona. Are you in Arizona?
I am in Arizona. You're talking about the weather here.
Go ahead.
I moved from Texas a year ago. It's in the 20s there. There's blizzards along the coast. And right now it's in the 60s here. Not a cloud in the sky. There's hot air balloons around. It's not bad here, guys.
I'm sure it isn't. Well, down here in the eastern part of Florida, it's a crap day. It's about, I would say, 60, drizzly, not a nice day. I'm looking out here in my yard, and it really looks sucky. But so let's just move on from that.
Well,
all right, listen.
In New York, it's 8 degrees, Tom, and icy and snowy and COVID. So,
I'm going to win today. Today I'll win.
You do win. That's right. Yes. All right, let's talk to Jeremy first. Jeremy, you guys have had Pristine had a great year. Give us kind of a little recap of 2024.
Yeah, it was my first full year here, so I was excited to see the growth. It was our biggest year in terms of items received, items listed, items sold. So it's really exciting, and it came with sort of adding some new options for our sellers and buyers there. So we're excited for how 2024 wrapped up, and then really excited for what we have in store for 2025.
Awesome. You guys have a very unique business. Al, are you familiar with Pristine, some of the stuff that they do?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, it's amazing, Jeremy, how, first of all, your inventory must be absolutely incredible. Crazy. Because, I mean, you run pretty much 24/7, 7 days a week, and you've got, all kinds of different auctions. I mean, the 10-minute auction, classic auction, all of that. Tell us about your inventory situation. And Rico, jump in here, brother.
Yeah, it's really unique how much stuff pours into our warehouse, to a point where we've expanded into another building that we have in our same facility just to keep up with the demand. Wow. Because it can be jerseys, it can be frame pieces, it can be memorabilia, amping our game up more in the card world. This year, dipping more into pop culture, which is starting to really, really gain more and more steam. Celebrity autographs, obviously Funkos, comic books, VHS. We've added a pop culture elite. So if there's even crazy things, jewelry is starting to come back here. And we've dabbled at in the past, but Jared sort of jokes about that. He's like, hey, come and buy yourself something. and you can buy your wife something here as well. So trying to hit every customer where they want to be hit. So yeah, but the inventory that pulls in here when pallets are dropped off, it's a pretty cool thing to see.
Rick?
So you'll find that people are selling more. Is it? Well, what's the reason you think? Is it? A lot of people have been hurt with the economy, and I don't know. Are these people selling because they really need the money?
Yeah.
Do you find it, or you get any hints of that from people?
What's interesting is last year, looking at 2023, it was a lot of large dealers that were sending us stuff, large pallets of bulk style items. 2024 sort of adjusted, a higher percentage of just normal customer sending stuff to flip. And so we've had discussions about that, and I think that it could be a couple of things. Number one, the economy now, the world environment, and things like that sort of started to settle a little bit. Yesterday might have been caused a little bit of concern or change fully. But we also had some folks that may have gotten a little bit too heavy during COVID and might have overextended themselves a little bit. And it's time to start moving some of that stuff and getting back to it. I mean, it's been a couple of years since COVID sort of shut down the world as we know it. But some people got in there heavy and are moving some stuff. But again, I think when you get we'll talk about NFL, when you've got a lot of rookies that are making some big plays and things like that, people have invested heavy in these guys, and now they have a chance to sort of unload some of that and get some reward back for their risk.
Jeremy, do you guys, I mean, do retailers, do you guys do any business directly with retailers or wholesalers? For instance, I don't know, pick something, Fanatics.
Yeah.
Do you guys buy directly from them sometimes?
Not necessarily. 95% of the stuff that we have here are consignments, but
Yeah.
we work with a lot of retailers and wholesalers that provide us stuff. What's great about us, and you mentioned it before, is we've got auctions running all the time, themed auctions, featured auctions, elite auctions, things like that. And so I say, guys, you're crazy. If you've got bulk product, get it on multiple platforms. Don't just stick to one auction house or one selling platform. If you've got the quantity, split it up. Get all the eyes that we have on it.
How many employees do you guys have?
105-ish here right now.
105, Al.
Yeah, and that blows people away. It's like, what do you mean? It's like when you kind of pull back the curtain and you look at the operation here, it's pretty awesome. And
well, you guys have a very, very niche, unique auction house. Al, would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I'm curious, how many people work in shipping?
Ooh, most of them.
Yeah.
And I say shipping, that's incoming and outbound, because the thing that's important with us is we get this product in, we get it sorted, we get it listed, and get it up for sale as quick as possible. But our ship, it's less than 3 days right now, and our goal is to ship it within 2 days after payment's complete. So I would say out of the 105, you probably have 70 that are in shipping and receiving.
It makes sense. There's a point, I think, where you have so many auctions and you're doing so many things that really what you're doing is you're keeping your shipping department busy,
right.
And that's how the business is growing and thriving and there's other auction houses like that too, it's interesting because from our standpoint, like we have to go all hands on deck after an auction closes. We all are shipping, because we don't do enough auctions and our auctions are not big enough for full-time shipping.
Yeah. But let me ask you a question. Like obviously when Ellen and I wrote all the books, the collectibles books, we still do. We have a fulfillment house that does all of our work for us. So when there are orders for books from us, goes right to the fulfillment house. They package it, they ship it, and we're off and running. Have you ever considered using a fulfillment house? No.
No, I wouldn't trust them. Because the difference is on your end, you've got X number of titles, right?
Correct.
And so really what you're dealing with is quantity, right? You're going to box up, somebody's ordering 5, somebody's ordering 1.
Correct.
And in my case, they need to be able to understand the difference between really obscure 19th century cards, no matter how many times, no matter how carefully I label them. being able to identify it when you look at it is part of the thing.
That's a good point.
And security. You got to have a staff that you can trust, and that you know that something's not going to happen to those items. I think it's very very important.
For sure.
Jeremy, your website address.
Pristineauction.com. Easy as that.
May I ask a question, Your Honor?
Go ahead. We got about 1 minute.
Okay, so some of the other stuff that you're getting in, do you have a limit that a product, let's say jewelry you mentioned, that you will take, or obviously you're not going to take junk, right? So some of these things have to be pretty special.
Yeah. We ask people to keep their average lot value at about $50. We want to keep it at that level, and we also there'll be a lot of people that send in bulk that they all do multiple signings in, and so we don't want to put those all in one auction. Like, it's got to be spread out. I'll tell you one of the things that we have now that a lot of our consigners kind of battle is Taylor Swift guitars. I know it's different than anything that you talk about here.
Unbelievable.
People say, "Do you have Taylor Swift in there signing these guitars for you constantly?" No, we don't, but we've got a lot of consigners that have Taylor Swift. And so what we have to do is sort of stagger those out throughout all the auctions, so you don't have 15 identical Taylor Swift guitars selling at one time. So if you need Taylor Swift guitars, where's your spot? I will tell you that right now.
Unbelievable. Amazing.
Great.
All right, Jeremy, say hi to Jared. Keep up the great work, and we'll talk to you guys down the road.
Awesome. Always good to talk to you guys. Have a great day.
Enjoy care now.
Take care.
Take care.
Yeah.
Jeremy Murray from Pristine Auctions. They do one hell of a job. There's
a YouTube video of just a tour through their facility.
Oh, really?
Unreal. Just, it's so organized and
yeah, but Jared, Jared and I have spoken about this a zillion times over the years. He really, they kind of stay under the radar.
Yeah.
And it's by design. I mean, he really, it's a niche auction house, unlike any of the other auction houses in the sports collectibles world. Rico, right?
Right.
No, I'm serious. I mean, we sat with him at the National, you and I, remember?
No, they're excellent, but every company has to do what they do best. If you go too far beyond what you're not capable, but what you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, you're right. You got to understand your limitations. I totally agree with you. Yeah. Hey, Al, let's switch gears for a minute before we get into talking about the hobby 24, 25. You guys are doing something that I think is fabulous for the victims of the fires in LA. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yes, we are going to donate a portion of the proceeds from our next auction to the Wildfire Recovery Fund that is run by the California Community Foundation. So what they do is they have isolated communities in need where people have been displaced and people have lost everything, but their fund directly targets those communities. They've been around actually since 2003 doing this. And so we've kind of selected them as the place to go. We have friends and customers, and I think everyone does, who lives there in the areas that have been impacted by this, and it's just devastating. It's horrible, and so we felt like it's important to give back. It's important to do something. So we're going to do that. We're also offering our consigners the ability, if they'd like to have a percentage of their
oh, nice.
I mean, yeah, we can do that. Of course, if they want to take advantage of the tax benefits of doing that, they would have to, send their own check. But we could, if they don't care about that, we could also just cut a portion of their proceeds and send it right to the fund.
So when is your next auction?
Our next auction is March, April. Okay, so one of the things that's happening here is these people there. There's been a lot of aid that's funneling into these communities right now that are helping them with their immediate needs. But one of the things that kind of happens is that when you're displaced from your home, that's a long-term thing. There's thousands of structures that have been destroyed by this fire. And so, given that a lot of these people is going to be, it's going to be months or even years before they can get back into a home if they want to stay in that community. And so, it's a good place for, our auction is in April, so in April, nobody's going to be thinking about the fires, but those people are still going to be displaced. And so I think it's a worthwhile cause to get involved with right now.
Rick?
I wish there were more auction companies doing this. That we all kind of I hate to guilt them, but
no, you're right. You're 100% right.
Like this is sort of a an issue.
I mean, I feel kind of bad that we're in Florida, because I would be more than happy to donate something, and you could just auction it off and send all the proceeds there.
Yeah.
Maybe. I know it's not a lot, but Rico, I have a couple of your PSA high grade signed baseball cards. Would you have a problem if I shot a couple of them out to Al for his auction?
Of course not.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Hey,
I'll get them in the mail to you, Al. And these are we got some nice ones. They're not all graded, but some of them are PSA 9s.
Nice.
I believe. Yeah.
I'll put Rico on the cover.
There you go.
No, but that fire is just incredible. People might have lost their collections.
Huge collections.
So many collectors in Southern California. Yeah.
Well, we were talking, Rico, you weren't on the show last week. John and I had Bob Broadwater on from Collectables Insurance Services.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it, and Bob was telling me that they've been fortunate enough, Collectables Insurance, they're fortunate enough so that they have enough money in the till to cover some of the devastation. But he was telling me that he knows of a couple of insurance companies that special in collectibles that are going to wind up going under. They're going to wind up going out of business because they just can't handle the onslaught of what's coming down the road.
Sure.
Anyway, hey, listen, how about a recap of before we talk 2025, let's talk 2024. What kind of I personally, I pay attention to what's going on. I think you had one hell of a year.
We did have a good year. It was our best year. We're still one of the smaller companies out there in the space, but we're growing, and it was definitely our best year last year, and things are looking up for 2025. I'm hoping for an even better year.
Rick?
Yeah, no, I was going to say, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go with the success? I know we're talking 2024. You had a great year, and now what do you want for the next level? In other words, expanding, or I don't know, whatever it is.
Yeah. I think for us, it's important to work within our strengths. We've done a pretty good job of staying with what we're good at. As a lot of the other auction houses have grown. I know, we were just talking before about the, Taylor Swift guitars and this kind of stuff. And that's just not our thing. We have a little bit of Americana that pops up in our auctions, but, we're a vintage sports auction, and that's where we're going to stay. I think what's happening is we continue to bring in higher and higher end material as the hobby becomes more, knowledgeable as they embrace us more and they trust us more. We've been at this for 12 years now, kind of sticking right in this same niche. And so, the size of our auctions have grown, and that's how we want to continue to grow,
We are chatting with Big Al Crisifulli from Love of the Game Auctions. We're going to take a quick break. Al's with us we have nothing else scheduled, Al, except Big Al. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I am so excited about this new segment that we've started that Rico has made fun of incessantly, but we're excited. It's called the Great AI GAX Baseball Tournament. We're going to talk about it. Last week, we had another game. We're going to give the results, and Petrocelli actually played against one of these teams. Hang in there. We're going to be right back.
Child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectables Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Well, look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Okay, guys, we are back. Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
How did I do? Not bad, right?
Yeah.
Chrissy did well. All right, listen, here's the deal. So it is time now, and I'm so excited about this because I created it. I am a professional. This is the Great AI Baseball Tournament brought to us by our good friend, Paul Borges, and the staff at PB Collectibles, your neighborhood card shop. Go to pbcollectibles.com to purchase that special vintage card that you have been looking for. Now, Al, I don't know, I kind of explained to you what we were doing. What we did was we created a baseball tournament. According to AI, the 16 greatest teams of all time. I'll read them off real quick. Number 1, 27 Yankees. Number 2, 1906 Chicago Cubs. Number 3, 75 Cincinnati Reds, the Big Red Machine. Number 4, the 1998 New York Yankees. Number 5, the 2001 Seattle Mariners. Number 6, the 1939 New York Yankees. Number 7, the 61 New York Yankees. Too many goddamn Yankee teams.
Oh, no, there's not enough. Never enough.
Number 8, the 1984 Detroit Tigers. Number 9, the 1919 Chicago Black Sox. Number 10, the 2004 Boston Red Sox. Number 11, the 42 St. Louis Cardinals. Number 12, the 86 Mets. 13, the 95 Atlanta Braves. 14, the 1970 Baltimore Orioles. 15 to 29 Philadelphia Athletics. And 16, the 1955 Brooklyn Dodgers. Now, in week 1, the 27 Yankees beat the Brooklyn Dodgers 7-6. Week 2, the Philadelphia Athletics, led by Jimmy Fox and Lefty Grove, beat the 1906 Chicago Cubs with Tinkers to Evers and Chance and Mordecai Brown. They won 4-3. This past week, the 1975 Cincinnati Reds Big Red Machine played the 1970 Baltimore Orioles. Before I give you the results, Rico, how good you played against the 75 Cincy Reds? How good was that team?
They're very good. They had very good defense and hitting. They could hit. I mean, Rose and all of those guys. However, this is why I disagree. Look at this. Baltimore Orioles 70. Jim Palmer 20-10. Cuellar 24-8. McNally 24-9. Then they had Harden, who was so-so, and Tom Phoebus, who could really throw the ball hard, and a good bullpen. And I don't have to tell you about the hitters. With Boog Powell, Davey Johnson was on that team.
Excellent team. I'm not disputing that, but I am going to ask you.
Rico played against both of those teams.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You did. I'm sorry. You played against that's right. You played against the 70 Orioles. So let me ask you this, though. Don Gullett had a great season that year, Rico, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So, I mean,
Gullett was, he had good stuff, but.
All right. So it's one game, and we start Don Gullett against Jim Palmer.
Yeah.
So these are the results, if I may.
Sure.
In the first inning, Pete Rose singles, Steele second, Joe Morgan walks. Then, of course, Johnny Bench unloads a 2-run homer. First inning. Reds are leading 2-0.
3-run.
Fourth inning. We're going to skip to the fourth inning. Orioles. Boog Powell singles, advances on a Merv Rettenman single, and scores on a Brooks Robinson sacrifice fly. Score 2-1. Reds. Third inning. I'm sorry. Yeah, I had reversed it. Third inning. It was out of order. My apologies. The box shows a run. All right. Third inning. Tony Perez doubles and Johnny Bench singles, bringing Tony Perez home. So it's 3-1 Reds. Sixth inning. Orioles. Boog Powell crushes a 2-run homer, tying it 3-3. Pretty cool. Bottom of the sixth, George Foster singles home a run, and they regain a 4-3 lead. Now let's jump to the seventh inning. One of Rico's favorite players, Joe Morgan, hits a solo shot and now makes the score 5-3. Eighth inning, Orioles. Another one of your favorites, Rick. Brooks Robinson singles, and he scores Paul Blair, who had doubled, and the Orioles close the gap 5-4. Ninth inning, Orioles. Reliever Will McEnany comes in and retires the O's in order to seal the 5-4 Reds win. So, Rick, you're saying that the Baltimore Orioles were actually, in your opinion, the better team?
Yeah, I really do. Because they had better pitching than the 75 Cincinnati team. They had Cincinnati, their starters had some arm problems, and with the exception of Gullett threw in the middle 90s or so, and the rest of them really, were hittable. I mean, the 75 series, we had good hitting team, and the games were close, and both teams hit.
Except I'll jump in here, by the way.
They scored one more run.
Those Reds teams were monsters. It's I get it. I get what he's saying. That I think the Orioles, what was this? The last team with 420 game winners was that Baltimore team.
Oh, was that the team? That was McNally, Cuellar, Palmer, and Pat Dobson, right?
No, just they had the three.
No, they what was it? 71 had 4.
71
Maybe. Was Dobson the fourth?
Dobson, but not in this team.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Palmer, Cuellar, and McNally. 24 wins, 24 wins.
It's not bad, man.
But if you ask Joe Morgan, he would tell you that the Big Red Machine was the best team in sports history.
Well, again, I kind of agree with Rico. I think offensively, I think that team probably was, with the exception of, as Rico says, of the pitching staff. Can you imagine if the Cincinnati Reds had that Baltimore pitching staff?
Oh my God,
that would have been a hell of a thing. All right. So, anyways, next week we have, who do we have next week? Next week we have one verse. What is it? I'm sorry. We have the 1998 New York Yankees playing the 1995 Atlanta Braves. That should be a pretty good game. That would be a pretty good game, right? All right, let's get back to Al. Al, 2025. What's it looking like?
It's hopefully great. Our spring auction is already shaping up to be pretty exceptional. We've got one of the strongest 19th century offerings that we will have ever had. Tons of old judges, which is great, and there's a couple of other things that we're working on. We've got a very, very super high grade 1960 tops set that we're breaking up. It is the number 1 or number 2, if you look on the registry, 1960 tops master set with wax pack. It's I think number 2 set on the registry.
Is it the complete set?
Yeah, but we're going to break it up.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Very cool.
Very excited about that. There's a whole bunch of other stuff lined up in this auction that we're very happy about. We still a ton of stuff from, we started to sell off the Clyde King collection in our last auction. We've got a lot of material from that in our next auction, as well as a bunch of other game use stuff from the Jabba Chamberlain collection, which should be pretty neat. And then obviously our regular assortment of cards you don't see every day, and I'm excited about this one. I think it's going to be a good kickoff to 2025.
Rick?
Yeah, I was going to say, I wanted to get your opinion on Ricky Henderson passed away, and Bob Uecker passed away. Their cards. Uecker have cards, not when he played, but for broadcasting even.
I think there was one. I think he had one.
Did he?
Yeah,
I know he had playing days cards.
Yeah.
But they have not historically been super valuable. You can pick those up at a decent price.
Yeah.
Even in higher grades. Ricky is obviously a different story.
Right.
High grade Ricky rookie cards are, it costs a gold mine. I think one of the PSA 10s just sold for 6 figures just a couple of weeks ago.
That's unbelievable. Is it the same thing happening with Brett Card? It seems as though that era is finally starting to make some movement trending upwards.
Yeah.
George Brett, his rookie card's worth a few bucks too in a high grade, right?
For sure. Yeah. I think that's just a function of whose nostalgia it is. It's been for the longest time, players from 60s, because the collectors who have been at it for a really long time. Now they have the money to go out there and afford high grade Mickey Mantles. Now it's kind of
shifting. It's like,
yeah, as people get a little older. I mean, the 70s is kind of my era, the 70s and early 80s, and you start getting white hair, and pretty soon you're nostalgic for those years, and George Brett and Robin Yount and those guys were the guys.
Well, so I mean, just to kind of piggyback what you just said, will the using T205s, T206s, play ball, Diamond Kings, are those card values, as my generation kind of wanes into the sunset, are those series of cards going to be watered down value-wise?
I don't think so. I think one of the things that I saw happen with the 50s and the 60s was that the concept of what they used to call minor stars, right?
Yeah.
Guys like Moose Scourin, Elston Howard, right? Norm Cash, players like that were once valued just a slight bit less than Hall of Famers. You start to see those numbers go down a little bit, but as some of the people who idolize guys like Danny McClain and Norm Cash and Bill Freehan and guys like that were big in their city where they played, that were heroes to kids, who were considered great for their era. You mentioned before, you're talking about the Reds. George Foster, is another guy like that. Yeah, I mean, that team was, for as many Hall of Famers as they had, they also had guys like Ken Griffey, Dave Concepcion, everybody loved those guys. And
right.
I mean, my first baseball glove was a Dave Concepcion baseball glove, but I think, when you look at their card values today, a lot of those players, the values have come down a little bit. I don't think it makes the earliest cards devalued at all. I think, if anything, those things continue to go up as people understand the rarity and the beauty and the historical significance of them. When you're collecting players from the 20s and the 1910s, you don't have personal nostalgia about them. I never saw Ty Cobb play. You might have, Tom, but
actually, Rico played with him. Rico, did you do some summer stuff with him?
Yeah, we promoted Coca-Cola because he was a big.
Well, something. Did you see what his numbers were worth? I when we wrote the book, I think it was the T206 collection. We did a lot of research on that. I think that in today's dollars, he would have owned like 20 million, some ridiculous amount of money just in stock belonging to Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
crazy stuff. There was another. I think, was it GE or General Motors? There were two stocks that he was heavily invested in. Al, there's been a ramp up of fake memorabilia around. Recently, there was another bust, a huge bust, where this husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend just got busted. I don't know where, out in the Midwest somewhere.
You're breaking up.
Oh, am I? Can you hear me, Rico?
Yes.
Al, can you hear me? Oh, I think we lost Al. Rico,
I got you now.
You got me okay?
I'm here. You got me?
Okay, yeah, we got you. Al, so there's been a lot of fake memorabilia out there with fake signatures. And they just busted a couple in the Midwest that had like several $1 million worth of fake stuff. What are your thoughts on that?
It's disgusting. It disgusts me. It's this is not new. Unfortunately, anywhere where there's money, there's, I'm sorry, but there's dirtbags trying to get over, and that's kind of, we see that again and again and again. I mean, this goes back to Operation Bullpen, when the FBI estimated that 75% of autographed memorabilia out there is false. It's seeing all of this fraud in the hobby is gross. And it's not just fake autographs, it's fake game used material. It's, doctored cards. It's one thing after another. We see it throughout the hobby. It's an epidemic. And unfortunately, I don't think it's going away. So this is why it's really important for collectors to choose venues that they trust. If it seems like it's too good a deal, it's too good a deal. There's no there's no magic bullet.
It makes sense.
COVID, man, the brain fog is real.
No, you're making sense.
Right?
Yeah, you're making good sense.
If you're not buying from reputable sellers, okay, you're taking a risk, and it's unfortunate. We encounter it all the time where there is a consignor who has worked on a collection of material for a long time, and they bought some stuff that was not from reputable sources, and then it's time for them to sell, and they think they have a gold mine, and what they have is a bunch of fake stuff.
Absolutely.
And it's unfortunate. It's horrible.
Do you think, Al, when you say fake stuff, is it mostly autographs, or do they take photos of the I don't know how they would do it.
No, Rico, these are people that like practice signing players. Trying to.
I remember reading the I can't remember the name of the book, but they talked about the Operation Bullpen and some of the things that those guys were doing. They would go to like thrift stores and hand-me-down stores and buy up all of the old-looking baseballs, and then forge autographs on the baseballs. And then they had this like concoction that they had made up. They would dip the baseballs in these things to artificially age the ball.
Really?
It's gross. It's disgusting. Hi, Ellen. I see Ellen.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, say hi, Al. Hey, listen, we're going to take a quick break. Al is in the house, Al Crisifulli. We come back. It's On Deck with Rico, and we've got still another segment, so hang in there. We will be right back.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Curry, a two-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free, integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Kavlie and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on the tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Hey, I'm Mike Petroselli. If your company is looking for the best in marketing and promotional items, you'll hit a home run with Petroselli Marketing. With over 8,000 suppliers and 650,000 imprint-ready items, we can get your company the visibility it needs to get your maximum exposure. Whether it be office promotions, wearables, automotive, sports items, and everything in between, Petroselli Marketing can do it all. Our design staff will even work with you from concept to delivery and customize your products. At Petroselli Marketing Group, we will get your brand in front of your audience. Contact us at info@petrosellimkt.com or call us at 603-880-3202.
I'm back.
At Petroselli Marketing, where no dreams
Petroselli
are
Marketing.
possible.
Well, yeah, let's talk about Petroselli Marketing. I finally got a pen.
Well, yeah, we'll get you some other stuff too. But anyway, yeah, go to petrosellimkt.com to take a look at the website and some of the stuff they've done. We're trying to get some of the auction houses, because they do shows and they do other things and they want to give out, which you should. You got to keep your name out there. And so, you know, I'm going to call some of the guys to see if get some business from them. But
do I get a commission?
Yeah, the kid does a great job. Listen.
No, do I get a commission?
No, you get nothing. Just like you did with my agent, Al, my agent. Right? Nothing.
Wait a second. That's not true. I got you a signing 3 years ago at
Well,
that grammar school. Remember?
yeah, right. Yeah.
All right, listen, we're back with Al Crisifulli. It is time right now for our segment called On Deck with Rico, brought to you by our good friend Brian Dwyer and the great staff at REA Auctions. Don't forget to get your bid in by going to robertedwardauctions.com. Now, they have a new website address, but if you go to robertedwardauctions.com, they're going to bring you over to their new website. They have a beautiful website. I don't know if you've seen it, Al. Brian's done a great job. Yeah, brand new. That's Robert Edward Auctions for extraordinary results and extraordinary service. All right, Rico, this week's question.
Yeah.
Actually, I have one, and Bob DePietro sent one in. How difficult was it to hit Phil Niekro?
To explain, Phil Niekro was knuckleballer, one of the best ever. He's in the Hall of Fame. The one thing you need is a good catcher too to be able to handle a knuckleball. I didn't face him that much, but I had pretty good luck with the knuckleball. I don't know why. I was able to wait on the ball, but I'm not saying I hit 300 or anything like that. But the guy who was different, Hoyt Wilhelm, right?
Really?
Hoyt Wilhelm threw a knuckleball, but it was faster than Niekro, and I thought it was a lot tougher to hit because it was faster. And when it was good, man alive, I mean, you're going like this. Oh, geez. But they hung them. Of course, he threw me a 3-2 fastball.
Who did, Wilhelm?
Wilhelm did, yeah. He fooled me. 78 miles an hour. I hit it in the net.
Did you really? What about Wake? I don't know anything about knuckleballs, but how was Wake's knuckleball compared to this?
Yeah, Wakefield had a good one too, but he too, and you don't know once you let it go if it's going to be a good one or not. And he hung him, of course he what was it against the Yankees?
Boone
run.
Oh, good.
Boone, but
you're putting a smile on Crisifulli's.
Well,
I'm actually looking at Rico's stats against all these pitchers right now. I actually am. That's what I'm looking at.
What do we got? Anything good?
What do you want to hear?
Against Wilhelm.
188.
188.
Of course.
Hang on. Let's see. I one home run. Do you remember the home run?
Yeah, that's what he always talks about.
Is this 2 RBIs?
All right.
And I mean, that's respectable. 235 on base percentage. So you got a couple of walks there. So I mean, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Well, he went into the bullpen too, towards the end of his career, I think, pretty sure. But yeah, he was tough. He was tough. Wakefield had one. Few other guys they weren't in the big leagues that long, got injuries, but Wakefield and all of those guys, they gave you innings. I mean, they
ate a lot of innings. You're right.
Wakefield helped 2004. He helped save the pitching staff.
Totally agree with you.
And so the good ones, if you can get them, they're important.
All right, so Rick, let's talk about and obviously Al, just chime in here. Let's talk about Bob Uecker. Did you ever play against Bob Uecker? I mean, I know he was in the bigs from 62 to when did he get out? 69
years. Yeah, Uecker, catcher, and we played an exhibition game in West Palm Beach against them, and because we got in the night before, and Uecker, the only time I saw Uecker, I had talked to him. He was getting into a cab.
Oh, really?
Go out somewhere. I said, Bob, how you doing? Yeah. Okay. Then the next time I saw him was coming back in the same cab.
The next day.
He was a character.
He always referred to himself as one of the best chasers in baseball
Knuckleball.
because he used to chase. He used to chase local Negroes knuckleball. That's funny. That is very, very funny.
God bless him, 90 years old, and he was a great broadcaster. Funny. Look, he has his own TV show.
No, he was very talented. I thought he was. I'll tell you what. His Hall of Fame induction speech is the greatest of all time. The greatest of. I listen to it at least a couple times a year. Sit down, go on YouTube, and listen to it, and just laugh out loud. Because you know what his strength was, Al? Keeping a straight face.
Yes.
I mean, he was so good at that, keeping a straight face when he did a bit or said something.
Al, one of these guys that just. I have this romantic idea that baseball is just this beautiful game that brings us all together, right? Euchre was one of these guys that made it fun. He made baseball fun, and you just sit and listen.
Go ahead.
Guys with stories, I want to hear those stories.
I love those stories. And there's some guys that have kind of dotted the landscape over the years. Rick Dempsey being another one. Rick was a very funny guy, but I agree with what you're saying, Al. Guys like Bob Uecker made the game of baseball fun for everyone. And I think that's really good. Al, go ahead, Rick.
The one that he said they sent him the winter ball, when he got off the plane, he was in Iceland.
I don't think I heard that one.
That's great.
Oh, God. Al, we were talking during a commercial break about AI and a lot of what we don't like about it. Quite frankly, I don't like much about it.
Yeah.
Although this segment we're doing is kind of a fun segment. Do you use AI when you're writing your catalogs? Because I know a lot of auction houses are doing that now.
No, absolutely not. Part of what we're trying to accomplish here is to have talented people review the material that we're selling and write descriptions that describe the piece and hopefully bring a little bit of knowledge into the equation and explain why are these things important, what is cool about this stuff. Pound for pound, I think we have the best, most knowledgeable team in the hobby. Obviously, we're the little guy. You're never going to see us using AI to write descriptions. Excuse me. It's to me, there's nothing that could take away from the a knowledgeable, experienced person sitting down and writing, using actual their own words. Of course, now I get my cough.
Well, again, you have an excuse.
Excuse me. But yeah, no, you won't see that. You won't see it in our ad copy. You won't see it in our, in our auction descriptions or anything like that. You can kind of tell when you read the description, whether a person wrote it.
Absolutely.
A person writes our descriptions.
I told you during the break, I was asked to write a little piece, and I tried using AI. And Ellen, with her 40 years of publishing, always edits my work, and she looked at it and threw it at me.
You can see it a mile away, and it's not really. It's first of all, it's not bringing anything to the table. It's not adding any value at all.
Correct.
If you're a consigner, you're giving up a percentage of the value of your thing for the expertise of the auction company. And if the auction company is just using AI, what expertise are they bringing to the table? First of all, but a lot of times when you read stuff, it's wrong. This is technology that's nowhere near perfected, and so you jump online and go to ChatGPT and ask it a question about something that you're knowledgeable about. Ask it a question about a band, or something like that, and just you can see the stuff that's wrong. Ask it about a movie, and so do you trust that what you're reading is accurate?
Good point.
So
one thing I want to, we have a few minutes left. You guys really had a good, and I think Andrew has a lot to do with this.
Oh, for sure.
Type 1 photos, man. Type 1 photos. He knows his stuff, and you guys really kind of took it to another level this year with Type 1, not just Type 1 photos, photos.
Yeah, I think he's one of the most knowledgeable guys in the hobby, and he's got a long history in the hobby. That's kind of the thing that's kind of what we're trying to do with this company is to put talented people in place and have people who are among the best in their field doing the work, right? And so I think that Andrew is right up there. We've got some great photos coming down the pike. So
that's cool, man. That's there's nothing when you're holding a Type 1 photo, especially, and it has to do with like a monumental event. It's really cool just to hold it.
We've got one that we've actually never seen before that came in of Jackie Robinson's first at bat. It's like a photo from up in the grandstand of his first at bat in the major leagues, and that'll be in our next auction. I don't know worth, but it's great. It's historically significant.
I have a Type 1 photo taken by the New York Post of Petrocelli. He has not Lou Piniella. He has what was his name? Joe Pepitone in a headlock. and he's holding his toupee.
I was gonna say,
it's just an amazing picture. Rico, will you autograph that for me? That photo?
Of course, but he was the first guy to have a what do you call
it? Hair dryer.
Oh, I got one last question. You're a big Yankee fan, and that was one. If the auction houses check this out, is New York their memorabilia the most sold or
good point? That's a good question.
Wow, that's a great question.
Well, win so much, win so much.
I mean, you would think, right? You would think Yankee memorabilia is at the top of the list, isn't it?
I mean, you've got Ruth, you've got Gehrig, you've got Mickey Mantle, and those are three. I mean, Ruth and Mantle are the biggest names in the hobby, and so I can't imagine. I mean, there's Cobb, there's Jackie. I know that last year we did this social media video on our Instagram that we knocked off the old Spotify Wrapped end of year list and showed like what did we sell the most of last year. We sold the most of was Babe Ruth, and I think it was Ruth, Mantle, Cobb, and Jackie. I think was the top four that we sold. It's got to be. I don't know if it's necessarily, Rico, the fact that it's the Yankees as much as it is those two names. Ruth,
you got Peter now, and you got the big guy now. Yeah. I mean, and others.
That's a good point. Good point, Rick.
It's true. It's I tend to not think of the modern guys, but you're right. There's those guys for sure.
All right, listen, we're just about out of time. His name is Al Crisifulli, Love of the Game Auctions. Al, what is your website address?
Website is loveofthegameauctions.com, and follow us on Instagram at LOTG Auctions.
And when is the auction tentative start date?
You're late March. The close date will be April 5th, and we are accepting consignments for that now, and a portion of the proceeds will go to the Wildlife Recovery Fund from the Wildfire Recovery Fund from the California Community Foundation.
Yeah, Rico, I don't know. He's a member of Peter. I didn't know if you knew that. All right, Al, we love you. Listen, thanks for seriously, man. You came off the IL to come on with us, and we greatly appreciate it.
It's always great to be with you guys for an hour. It's always fun.
All right, Rick, I'll talk to you during the week. And to our viewers and listeners, again, thanks for all your support. Chrissy, great job as always. And with that being said, happy collecting.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.